Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. This podcast is a conversation between two business partners, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. Join us for a lively conversation about all things interior design, from current projects, trade show experiences, worldwide travel, what's in, what's out, and all the challenges and wins they've had running their successful design business. Whether you're a seasoned interior designer, new to the industry, or a creative enthusiast, you will walk away with insightful information, newfound inspiration, and a smile on your face after listening to these two. And here they are, Joanne and Kelly.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 172 of Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. And today we are talking about the top 10 trends from the most recent High Point market, which is fall 2023. So at this point, I think we've lost track of literally how many times
at least 50.
That we've been to the High Point furniture market.
50 probably.
Between us.
Yeah.
In High Point, North Carolina. So we're always on the hunt for new relationships, new products, new vendors, and of course, all the emerging trends so that we can offer really the best value to our clients. Mm-hmm. And in terms of our knowledge and our offerings, and of course, our designs.
To touch and feel and sit and
Absolutely. So despite the fact that we consider ourselves market pros, we still really learn something new every single time we go. And this time we decided to throw a wrench in things and do something a little new. Market didn't start until Saturday, but we went on Wednesday, and we spent Wednesday late afternoon, Thursday and Friday in the car doing all like the perimeter kind of shops and showrooms that are off the beaten path.
Yeah, because generally when you go there, there's the big parking lot. You park your car in the morning and you don't go back. You're just doing shuttles and the rest for the day. So you're parked and you're done. Yeah.
And our mission was really to hit, we love kind of the vintage, the antiques, those cool shops. So we did that, and by the time we were done, my car was completely full of goodies. It was so fantastic.
We had so much fun.
Yeah,
we had so much fun doing that.
Normally you don't, there's cash and carry, buy it and take it with you, but not a lot of that, except really, I feel like on those perimeter, in those perimeter shops. So we opened a few new accounts, which was very exciting. We saw a lot of old friends and
met a lot of new people.
Yep. But most importantly, we noted the top trends, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. It's always so fun to see,
Do I get to jump in here because it's
why? Because you don't have anything new in your house. No, you're excited?
No, because it's gone this long, and my question is, how many lemon drops does it take at High Point to pierce your nose?
Oh, jeez, Louise.
She does not need any lemon drops to pierce her nose.
No, it was years of wanting to do it, and one day just waking up and saying, I'm doing it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure the viewers didn't see something on their screen, and it's like, okay,
no,
I love it. I love it.
I think she had it. I did. Yeah, if she had a booger, I'd get it. Yeah.
For those that
I'm that kind of friend.
For those that are listening, you can't really see what I did, but
okay, on with the show.
So Russ, onward.
Yes, loves to pipe in.
He does.
So the sponsor today is Esteem Media. They're a brand that believes commerce can be maximized among luxury businesses by creating and sharing content that adds value to online and offline business networks. They specialize in connecting national and local businesses in the luxury, home, design, and fine wine areas. So we want to thank Esteem Media for partnering with High Point Market. They're really kind of the ones who kind of started this whole Insiders Tour, which is such a great idea. They curated the tours for, brands and tour guides to get together to take people around. And they're going to continue to offer these tours every single market. So watch for the details. Yep. You can go to highpointmarket.org/insiders tour. And new up for Esteem Media is the Luxury Home Design Summit. That'll be held.
Excited.
I know we're signed up. It'll be held May 20th to the 22nd at the Chatham Bars Inn in Chatham, Massachusetts. They focus on bringing together architects, interior design principals, landscape architects, and builders, contractors. So it's really
It's a high-end
it's a
conference.
high-end
Yeah.
luxury design kind of group, and it sells out quickly. So if you're interested, the registration is now open. So go to luxuryhomedesignsummit.com. We'll join you there. And to find out more about their upcoming conferences and designer show houses, particularly the home for the holiday show house in Atlanta here, go to esteemmedia.com.
I'm so excited. Well, their show houses are second to none.
Yeah.
And we always for the Christmas one, it's opening.
I think
it's opening soon.
I think we're going December 8th or something.
December 8th. Yeah, we're going to take our team and go have girls' lunch and go to the show house. And it's always a great day. So don't ever miss an Atlanta Homes and Lifestyles show house if you're in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yep. So I have to say, this very first trend that we're going to talk about, which is a color combination, was so interesting because this was the first time I think
You're kind of wearing it, I have to say. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I kind of am.
Yeah.
I kind of am. So what was so funny was last year when we had Sue Wadden on the podcast talking about the color of the year and that whole group of colors, which was like the spice color, the ochre, those kind of earthy, warm colors. And it was so weird because that's what was out. It 6 months later, or like a year, actually really a year later.
Yep.
And so every showroom that we walked into, we were like, oh my God, this is like Sherwin-Williams. So anyway,
I feel like the trends don't always scream out at every market. They really don't. I mean, we can come up with them and they're notable, but this time I was taking notes, you know, as we're going every day, and it was so the 10 that we're going to talk about were so prominent. And if you're not watching us on YouTube for this episode, you might want to just click on over and watch, because Russ is going to pull up images that we took all along the way to show exactly what we're talking about as a visual.
Yeah. So as we're going through, we're kind of looking for them at first, and it takes a couple of times, and then you start saying, okay, wait a minute, I saw that there. And I would be like, oh, look, another sofa. And, and then we combine them all so that we could show you what we found.
Yes.
So
trend number 1 was a color combination that was so prevalent. It was crazy. And Sue Wadden and the Sherwin-Williams team hit it out of the park on this one and their prediction. But it was like a spicy red.
Mm-hmm.
Not
kind of quite as orange as this, but
kind of like a coral. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah,
there you go. So if you see that sofa there that Russ just pulled up, ochre, kind of a golden, deep, yummy yellow, slate blue, blush, ivory green was thrown in as well, but and a lot of times all together. So,
but you know what I loved, and you haven't seen it for a long time, is sofas that are a color. I mean, how much have we seen neutral white sofas?
Yes.
They're beautiful and they're great, and you can jazz them up with pillows and stuff. But that really makes a statement, either an emerald green sofa or like that sofa that was just in the picture. I love that sofas are starting to be a little more have some color.
I mean,
to them.
be bold. I know it's kind of scary, but man, it makes a room. Yeah. So yes, we saw that color combination in furniture, in wallpaper, in rugs, and it was just it was earthy. Oh yeah, it was earthy. But what I loved about it was, if you're not kind of like an earthy person, to me the blush pink, that light blush kind of put in there, and then the little pops of the blue and the green just like brought it to life. And you're going to see it in other trends that we're talking about, because it kind of all twisted and turned and intermingled. So
a lot of the blue with that spice color, and I think we're going to show some more photos that had a lot of fabrics that had that. I remember we were at maybe Row, and I was like, oh my God, there's the trend right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next,
art galleries on walls. We love art galleries, but it feels like so many showrooms were showing them. And what I loved about them is a lot of them were just completely different. Framing was different. The subject was kind of different. And I think galleries are such a great way. We did have a client once, remember? She just like, oh, I have all this art. I don't know what to do with it. And we hung it all up on the wall just as it was. It looked amazing.
Yes.
So
and it was over and over again. Russ, if you can pull up a gallery. There you go. And you can see that and it was funny because, I mean, we used galleries all the time, and sure, this is nothing new, but it was over and over and over again in the showrooms.
Yeah.
And I love, like, the picture that Russ is showing right now is a gallery wrapped around a sectional wall. So on 2 walls, kind of continuous. very tight together, all in neutral colors. So cool. And then there's one other one, Russ, if you'll pull it up. It's there you go.
Yeah.
It just, I
It's
mean,
just all different.
oh, it's so interesting and cool. What a way. It's because we find all the time that our clients have little art.
Yeah.
And they're like, what am I going to do with this? I'm like, oh my gosh, do you have a powder room or a tiny hallway? We can put that in because it can't be all by itself.
The thing that's interesting too is a lot of times the sofas and sectionals we do are floating and they're in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a situation like many people do, where that sofa has to go up against the wall, and if a sofa is like 92 wide, what are you going to put above there? A ginormous piece of art that'll cost you a fortune. And so, so what a great way to break it up and make it really interesting, add color. So I love a gallery wall. And like I said, it was so fun to see so many.
Yep. So good. All right. Next up. Oh, and well, I'll get back to that. I'm forgetting to tell you that where we're seeing these things. I'll bring that up next time. Okay. Over and over again. Strappy leather dining room chairs. Where did this trend come from? And it was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
And so here's the one we're showing right now is more of an accent chair, but it was in dining chairs too.
A lot of dining chairs.
And I think it's great because dining rooms, like it'd be nice to be able to wipe down a mess, leather, and it just had a really, even though it looked sort of masculine, it looked just really cozy.
And just so different. I love that strap on the arm as the armrest being a strap. We saw that over and over again. So that was really, really interesting. All your dining room chairs don't need to be the same. Just want to make sure you know that.
Yeah. Okay. And then, and this was predicted even last market, bringing more wood in. We saw so much wood. And that cerused oak, it was in natural and black. And then that medium brown and even that really light, almost Danish type of wood, that what used to be the blonde, back in the 50s. So much light wood.
So much light wood.
And
look at this. Look at this console
that's
that
a perfect
Russ is showing.
example.
Kind of a little bit of capsule, a little bit of the kind of a tambour rigid, ribbed that wood. But that color,
that mid-century kind of color,
is everywhere. I loved it, and it's great when it's mixed with dark woods. The black wood, the black oak, it's just like you can see these two chairs that Russ is pulling up. Great to see them all mixed.
Yeah, and even if you do have that whole white palette, bringing this in, it's not so drastic because it's a little bit lighter and it has more of that, I think more of that Scandinavian kind of feel. I loved it. I totally loved it.
Yep. Next up, we saw... This was everywhere again. Embroidery in a lot in fabrics that then put on furniture and cut velvets. Like this is a picture from Norwalk.
Norwalk
Their
had a lot
showroom
of them.
Was to die for. And so there's that blush pink, that little bit of spice brought in there again. And this, you can't really tell from the picture, but this had so much texture to it. And there's that kind of that blue and the green. A lot of naturals. When we saw the embroidery and the textures, it was a very natural, like this is a kind of a leaf pattern we're showing. I loved it.
A lot of velvets. So bringing texture in with the color.
Yes. Color. So happy it's back. Yes. Very exciting. Okay. We've talked about this a bunch in our trend reports, but
saw it more this
time. It was still really prevalent. Curved and rounded corners on everything. But this little kind of egg back chair that we're showing
everywhere.
Again,
everywhere.
What the heck? Did all these showrooms talk to each other? I mean, it's amazing. You go from one end, keep in mind, High Point is 210 football fields. Is that right? Did I remember that statistic? I had it in the front. Yes.
Yeah.
210 football fields worth of showrooms, right? And yet you're walking from one end to the other and you're seeing the trends in these showrooms. Crazy.
Well, it's funny because there's generally, we talk about the trends with color and the types of sofas and whatever, but I don't feel like we've ever really had a trend in dining chairs. I feel like this time, more so than anything, this picture that Russ is showing is the rattan, which once again, it's still out there, that rattan and really looks good paired with that light wood that we were talking about. So I love being able to mix all these together.
Yes. So next up, small prints in fabric.
Have to say,
get ready. Here it comes.
not a big fan of the
I'm getting
small
used to it.
prints.
It's kind of, remember when we were talking, probably last market, we were talking about how traditional
Yeah.
and
Grand Millennial
and Grandma brown woods and traditionals is all coming back, and it totally is, but in a very kind of in a new way, as you would expect.
It still feels
it's funky.
It
it's
still
cool,
feels
but
very Laura Ashley to me.
a little
Just
bit,
saying.
a little bit. That chair that Russ just showed was from Norwalk. It was gorgeous. This, so you kind of see the combo there, and then where was that? We're showing all these different small patterns draped. I can't remember, Tebow or Norwalk or
I can't remember what
I can't remember, but
yeah,
you
we've
get the
only
point
been to,
when you see it on YouTube.
We only went to hundreds of shows.
Yeah, we only went to show, but I don't know. It's a personal thing.
And you have to see it for a while.
You have to see it,
and
yeah.
then it eventually starts to grow on you. you
yeah,
know,
in the
so.
Tebow showroom and in Norwalk showroom, I loved the way they put it together. So seeing it put together, again, a benefit of going to High Point, seeing this stuff in these showrooms, and you start looking at it and you're like, okay, yeah, I totally get that now. You know, I actually think that could really grow on me, and I'm loving it.
Anything that Tebow does is excellent.
Fantastic.
It's excellent.
Yeah. Okay, then trend 8, copper.
Copper.
Who would have thunk it?
And I loved it so much. It just looks so masculine, so high end to me. And it's funny because Thompson Traders, who was just recently on our podcast, they do a lot of the copper. They're probably very excited.
With their pappy.
But we saw it mostly in accessories. And I don't know.
The picture that Russ is showing, we were at Chelsea on Green, which was probably one of our favorite
off the beaten
path showrooms. Oh my gosh, just vendor after vendor after vendor of amazing vintage and antiques, and that's where we saw a lot of the copper. It of course came into the mainstream showrooms, but it's just so beautiful. The patina of it, the mix of it. I think that you always need something old and gritty with a story, and no matter how clean and contemporary your design is, I think that's what makes it feel homey and cozy. You gotta have it.
The thing I love about copper too is it mixes well.
With
brass and stainless and black. I mean, it's so easy to put it in. Like sometimes you'll just see a kitchen that has all kinds of other different finishes, and then they have the copper range height, and it looks amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see copper coming back. I don't really remember.
I'm ready for a copper sink in a kitchen. Like, come on,
I think it's really pretty.
We
cool.
should have done it already.
Yep.
Duh. All right.
Okay.
Next.
Yes, this natural elements in textiles and art. This was probably one of my favorite ones. This textile one is a little unique.
That was at Four Hands.
Yeah,
I love the macrame.
But yeah, you seeing a lot more of that.
And there's
macrame.
that saffron, that spicy color. Not saffron, but the spicy.
Yes.
Spicy
so
color.
as Russ is going through the photos, you'll see that there was so much texture even on consoles, which I loved.
Yes.
A lot of the bone.
That one's from
and
Hooker.
The wood. Yes,
that he's showing, and it was wood, woven with layered with bone with metal.
So handsome.
I love
and
that
so
much.
Beautiful. Yeah, the consoles in the Hooker showroom were amazing. They really were amazing. So yeah, that mix of wood, bone, metal, like all that makes it so interesting.
We've been
cool.
talking about that for a long time. That's not necessarily a new trend, but I feel like we saw it. I don't know. It just felt bigger, better, more interesting, more well done this time.
And once again, in so many showrooms, so we were more aware of it. Like when, the showrooms in High Point, there are some that are just incredible the way they merchandise and put their stuff out there. So it's a great way for us too. It helps us to come up with some ideas for galleries or space plans or whatever. So I guess I never thought about really putting a macrame, and it's not necessarily the macrame of the, they're done in cool different ways.
Oh gosh, yes.
So,
when you get tired of art.
You get tired of framed art.
There just comes a
Sometimes
point where
you're
like, okay, I have a mirror, I have art, I got a gallery, I need something, with warmth and texture and something different and something handmade. Handmade,
yes,
artisan made.
Yeah.
Let's remember that.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then, this trend started with COVID, but it has not gone anywhere. If anything, the options have gotten more, and that's sectionals. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Where was this one at? This was at Universal, the one that Russ is showing. The biggest bad mamma jamma I've ever seen in my life. But
and you could just keep adding the pieces.
Yes.
You can have like tables in between them. Like the options for sectionals are unbelievable. So, I mean, I know here in Atlanta, we have some really large homes, and some of them have, these terrace levels where they have theater, they're not really doing theater seats anymore, but to put one of these ginormous sectionals in one of those like movie rooms, how great is that? You can
or
sit.
to make it tiny and just have, a little love seat with a chase lounge at the end in a sitting room. You can do whatever you want. The headrests that pop up in the back, we see those at Norwalk.
Yes.
In a leather. Oh my God. It was so cool.
And then they even have one, both Vanguard and Norwalk have one where it's a trundle sofa.
Yes.
So basically you have the sofa and then you've got two straps. You pull them out and come up and it turns into a bed. So you don't have to deal with the whole, what are those sofas? Sleeper sofas.
Yes.
You just pull that out and you can just do that. So they're just, every market, they just get smarter and smarter and better and better. And it's just so.
But we were really excited to implement. Well, I mean, we're already implementing all these trends, but just to see them in new ways. And so let's just review quickly. And Russ, you don't have to worry about the pictures. We'll just review. So trend 1 is the color combination we were talking about: spice, deep corals, ochre, slate blues, blush pinks, and kind of like a yummy kind of a forest green mixed in, and ivory. Yeah. Yep. And then the second trend,
art galleries on walls.
Yep. Love that one.
Yep.
Third one, strappy leather dining chairs, accent chairs, not just light, not heavy, but kind of more airy and strappy. Yep.
Wood, lots of wood, cerused oak, medium browns, and that really light kind of Scandinavian wood color.
Embroideries and cut velvets, really a ton of texture and fabrics, and always color.
Curves and rounded corners on dining tables, consoles,
everything.
The backs of dining chairs. Yeah, lots of
Thank
curves.
God. Still, if you're still a straight line person, you'll still love the cleanness and the simplicity of these, but just they're softer.
They didn't look traditional. They looked very transitional, really. They could go in a bunch of different styles.
Yes. And then we had small prints in fabrics. It's coming. It's going to be in wallpaper. It's going to be everywhere. So get ready for that. Copper metal in antiques, in vintage, but then mixed into case goods and just the perfect metal to accompany this color combination we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then the natural elements that we talked about in textiles and art. Wall hangings that are done with rope in different color, and then consoles and different pieces that have the mix of like the bone and the wood, metal. And then last was the sectionals with endless options.
And just in case you're wondering, boucle was still there.
Oh yeah,
it's still there.
It did a lot of colors.
It was in a lot of colors though, which I really like it. I mean, I don't want to overdo it whatsoever, but a piece here and there, I still think it's a great nubby neutral.
Yeah, I don't think I would do a whole sectional in it.
No.
But an accent chair or an ottoman. There's some beds. Bernhardt has a beautiful bed that's a boucle headboard, and the sides and front are boucle.
Yes. And thank God rattan and all the woven natural fibers is still everywhere. Love it in lighting. Love it in case. I just love it. I hope it never goes away.
Yeah.
I love the texture of it.
It's so fun to go and just see. I mean, you're always looking for the new, and you always wonder like how are they going to do it this time? And they always seem to do it. I listened to the Business of a Home podcast.
Such a good podcast.
It really is a good one.
Oh, gotta listen to that.
And they talked about that. Some of the manufacturers didn't have as many new offerings, but I felt like a lot still really did. I think the ones that do always do.
Right. Well, think about it. They all during COVID rush, new
Yeah.
factories, more employees, like grabbed all the inventory they could, and they're actually pretty full. So our lead
Yeah.
times are less now. The manufacturers didn't really rush to come out with tons of new offerings. Yeah, like you're saying, because their inventory is quite lush right now.
So on the retail side, but what's really interesting is the designers are 60%.
Oh yeah,
of the attendees.
Attendees, yes.
At High Point Market.
Mm-hmm.
Now
we rolled roost
20 years ago. Even you couldn't even get into some of the showrooms, but
when
I think they've started to
like,
realize. I think they've started to realize that designers may not be ordering, $10,000 to put on a showroom floor, but over a year's time, they're going to be consistently buying. So I think they're pretty smart in that.
Yep. Very good. So thank you also to all of our tour attendees, our tour guide, our insiders tour that we led was a hit again. Yeah. And we really want to thank all the manufacturers that provided lunch and cocktails and were ready for us when we arrived. It was such a great tour. We went to Cisco Home. We went to Gabby. We went to Vanguard.
Tebow.
We went to Tebow. We did
Christorama.
Yeah,
was part of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
We
Wendover Art.
Wendover
Art was fabulous.
Who did we see in Market Square?
Tebow.
That was it.
Yeah,
I can't remember. It's a whirlwind. It's a whirlwind of a day.
We're brain dead at this point.
Do we have a couple of seconds?
Not really. But
okay. Well, maybe I'll read it next time. There was something that I saw posted that I thought was so interesting. It won't take me that long to read it.
Well, now you have to say it.
Okay.
I have a really good quote that I have to say. So
okay. So did I just lose it?
Pause while she scrolls on her phone.
I just had it. I just had it there.
Okay. Let's do the quotes.
Go ahead.
And then you can come up with that. Okay. You do the funny quote.
Okay. So the funny quote is, I love sweatshirt season. Am I wearing a bra? Who knows? Am I wearing what I wore to bed under it? Maybe.
That was me on Friday during a Zoom call, but nobody needed to know. Okay, here is our serious quote. Let me pull it up. So, in honor of all of our Jewish friends, our Jewish clients, and our colleagues, and all the innocent people suffering in the crossfires of war right now in Israel, Gaza, and Palestine, we pray for you, and we offer you this quote. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and I lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water. And I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. And that's Wendell Berry.
It's very sweet.
I thought that was just so beautiful. I have total goosebumps.
Yeah,
I just really love that as we're sitting here talking about luxury and home during really hard times in our world. It's important to bring that up.
Well, this is what leads me to, this is about designers, and I thought this person told this very well.
Okay.
You're not picking out living room furniture. You're preparing the moments when families will pile together at Christmas, dining rooms that will host new guests that somewhere between hours of conversation become lifelong friends, kitchens that will smell like pancakes, and before a good cleaning, savor the moments of sticky little handprints. There are more than four walls. They are the settings of daily narratives. They're homes that will be filled with happiness and heartaches and everything in between. They'll hold memories and moments that make them matter. A space with so much meaning deserves a design process that holds as much. Begin mastering the first step in the design process. I thought that was just really...
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. We have big jobs.
Well, I mean, we talk about the trends and we talk about the beauty, and that's all great, but there's so much more that designers do. That offer you, like your home, like these are the places
creating
where
homes.
you're.
I mean, what is?
Yeah.
It's very important. Yeah. So, okay.
On that note,
thanks
for listening, everybody. Thank you again, Esteem Media, for sponsoring this podcast.
Yep. And we appreciate all your feedback. You can visit us at candrack-cole.com. Please rate and review our podcast. We really would appreciate just taking a quick minute to give us a 5-star review. And we hope you have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly for a new episode every other Friday as they continue to explore the nuances of the interior design business with the goal of informing, inspiring, and entertaining their listeners. See their work at candrack-cole.com and engage with them on Facebook and Instagram at Candrack Cole.